mentioned he has got a live show on YouTube and is it on Facebook as well tomorrow?
On everything tomorrow. On everything. X, Facebook.
Good evening and welcome to All Things Sky Blue live show. We're live from the Anecdote as we entertain Bristol City tonight. My name's Mark Smith. Our podcast is sponsored, or our live show, should I say, is sponsored by White Steel Fabrications, who operate in Warwickshire and the West Midlands and all over the UK. And also we're partnered with the Anecdote, so that's our plugs there. So it's all about tonight's game against Bristol City. And I think they've just come off their live shows themselves. I've been joined by a couple of my regulars, or a couple of the original members of All Things Sky Blue, Stuart and Josh for me. I was going to say the founders, yeah. So let's start with Josh. So looking at the team tonight, obviously he's back to kind of similar, pretty much what it was against Sheffield Wednesday in the last league game. Matt Godden starts up front. Instead of Sims, actually Wright's back on the bench tonight as well. Obviously top on the bench. What's your thoughts on tonight's team and the game ahead?
I'm not sure about Godden, to be honest with you. I don't know what he brings. He has been a great servant to the club, but I just think that at the minute, I think Sims, people will say that Sims doesn't score enough, which is fair to an extent. I think he does a lot more off the ball, getting in behind, holding the ball up. So I think I can't quite understand the Godden selection, to be honest with you, but I'll happily be proven wrong.
So look as well as opponents like Bristol City. One interesting team is obviously Scott Twine, who scored in their last game, is not featuring tonight. What do you think of Bristol City this season? Do you think it might be a hard game tonight, or do you think it's a game we should be looking to target 3 points?
I think if you're thinking about playoffs, it's the game you kind of need to win. They are a threat. They are going to come here with nothing to lose. But having said that, Stuart and yourself, Mark, did a preview with a Bristol City fan this week. They said that they took a massive dip in form in the league. I just think if you're going to get those playoffs, you need to win these sort of games.
Last question, what's your prediction for tonight's game?
I'd love a clean sheet, but I think they'll score. I think they'll actually go 1-0 up. So I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to go goal scorers O'Hare again, and I'm going to go Sims. 2-1 to us.
2-1 to us, fair enough. That's an interesting shout there. Okay, I'm going to speak to another commentary fan who's the host of In My Opinion with, amongst other things, Stuart Rendell. Stuart.
Hello.
So, team tonight is kind of similar. I'd say probably the same team as the Sheffield Wednesday game. Matt Godden's up front. Palmer retains his spot in the team on the left, actually right on the bench. Any surprises with that team, or is that team you'd expect to have been picked?
I'm glad he's gone back to a back four, so that was good, because obviously the change of formation I don't think helped us against Sheffield Wednesday. But no, I think it's a team that I expected really. Didn't really expect it for Torp to edge out Eccles just yet. That might be in a few games' time if Torp can get up to speed quick enough, really. But the bench is looking incredibly much stronger. I like the way that the bench is looking. And, I think Josh has already mentioned it. It's down to, Sims and Godden to make that top striker spot their own, really. They've got to start putting away their chances.
What about, obviously, our opponents, Bristol City tonight, as I said to Josh earlier, there's no Scott Twine. I mean, is there any other players there from their team that you kind of fear that we need to keep an eye on, do you think?
Well, on my live, I had a couple of people saying that we're not ready for, I can't pronounce his name, Matetti or something like that. So maybe he's one to watch out for. But, Twine's going to be a really big miss for them. But they're an okay side. Their home form's better than their away form. So I think we'll just edge it anyway. You're going to ask for a prediction, so I'm going to go for a 2-1.
Right, okay, interesting. I did say, I said personally on the last space, which you can listen to on our podcast channels, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, etc., that I'll be sitting on the fence, as you might be surprised to know, and I'll show me 2-2. I'm quite positive about the team. I think it's a good start tonight. I guess, what's your thoughts about Godden and Sims? Because we're not getting enough goals out, are we? I mean, that seems like negative, I would say. Although we're getting goals all over the pitch from other players, I mean, the goals have been shared about generally throughout the season. Are you concerned by lack of goals from Sims and Godden, and what can they do to change it? I'll go to you.
Well, put their chances away, to be fair. But, like I said, I think as soon as one of them scores, they'll get the run of games. Until they do, I think you'll find that he's going to alternate between the two each game until somebody finds a little bit of form. It's frustrating. Maybe they need a run of maybe 2-3 games, but it's a difficult predicament to be in. One of them's got to take the chances and start scoring, and then I think it will just relieve the pressure, off Haji White, Sakamoto, O'Hare, Palmer, a little bit more, so they'll be free to actually do. And I think once that happens, I think we might become a bit more of a free scoring side. But at the moment, the pressure, because the strikers aren't scoring, the pressure's on them midfielders and wide men to chip in, really, until we can get a striker that is going to score the goals.
Now, Josh, another question we'll ask is Callum O'Hare's obviously featuring tonight's team. That's kind of a positive, bearing in mind, obviously, it's the end of the transfer window, deadline day tomorrow. How pleased are you to see him featuring tonight?
Yeah, I am pleased, but I think you can't help but look back and think, if we'd have offered him a contract when he was injured, I know we didn't know if he was going to come back at all, what kind of standard he's going to play to, but he is playing, you're right. Do I think he'll leave this window? No, I don't. Do I think he'll leave in the summer? Maybe. I think for us now, we just need to enjoy him while he's here, because who knows what the future holds. But either way, he's been a massive servant to the club. He's been amazing for us. He's the hero of lots of youth. He's the hero of adults as well. And he's the sort of player that will get fans out of seats. And yeah, it killed me to see him go. But, no player is bigger than the club at the end of the day.
No, spot on there, I agree that entirely. Stuart, it's quite nice we're playing a game at home. We're not playing at Blooming Hillsborough, so we're playing the last two games. We're on an awful pitch. How much are you looking forward to playing on a decent pitch tonight?
Oh, so much looking forward to it. I think the way that we pass the ball around, having a nicer pitch, the lads have trained here as well when the pitches at Brighton were a little bit more iced over, if you like, or a little bit harder. So they're going to be used to the ground a lot more. But yeah, playing on a nice pitch, the way that we want to play, I just think that we'll have too much for them. And I know, eventually we'll talk about Sheffield Wednesday's next replay. I think we'll have too much for them as well.
Well, that's the thoughts of the team at All Things Sky Blue. So thanks you guys for your time tonight. That rounds off tonight's show. So we've got, I think you've got In My Opinion With show this week.
Yes, tomorrow.
So Stuart will be back live with In My Opinion With. And I think we'll be looking to do a Norwich preview show as well later this week to preview Norwich. And obviously tune in on Sunday to a live X-Space show at 9 o'clock till 10 with myself, Stuart, Josh, Glenn, Danny. Hopefully we'll talk about a couple of wins against Bristol City and Norwich. So stay tuned for that. And obviously if you don't have an X account, we're also live. We'll be publishing it on our podcast channels on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts from. So that rounds up tonight's show. Thanks everyone for listening. Play up Sky Blues. Fingers crossed that we'll get the 3 points tonight, consolidate our position in the playoffs. I'm going to too, but I think we're also capable of winning. So fingers crossed I'm wrong and we win the game. Thanks for listening and good night.